Haymakers tend to be something that people loop and hunt and hope.
And if you're interested in learning more on self-defense, well, check out the link in the description where I have an online course teaching some very practical ideas for everybody.
You always want to have some sort of distance between the person that's attacking you. The longer the distance, the more likely you may get the load up on the punch. He's got more of a distance to swing. A couple of simple points. Leg forward, chin down, and hands up. I've got some distance and he swings. I essentially want to go in and cover this space. You probably think, get out of the way. Getting on the outside, you saw that was pretty close. The problem with a big looping arm, what's going to cause the damage, is the fist. If you're trying to get out and away from the fist, you're risking getting caught on the way out. So the idea is always close the range and get in nice and tight. Far easier to go inside an arm, bang, to get inside as opposed to trying to get on the outside of a swinging arm. So the idea is get in on a single shot, jam it, finish it, and control the space. How to deal with combinations of strikes, straight and round. So keep watching. The easiest way to think about it is that straight arms come at you. And when they do, you want to move on the outside of the arm. Round arms come at you in a circular fashion, so less directly, and in which case you want to move on the inside of the arm. When we put the two together, we can move on the inside and the outside depending on whether they do a straight or a round. If he throws a lead punch and he decides to jab out with his lead arm, he's setting up his second looping punch. Bang. From here, I want to try to get my hand up or my coverage up, as we spoke about, to go bang on the inside. I keep this hand up to cover my side of my head. Don't flare the elbow, because if you flare the elbow, it creates too much space. I'm essentially covering with this elbow in, and this hand is on the flat of my head. At the point of the elbow is jabbing into his chest, and the hand is being framed and supporting here. Boom, this arm bridges. It makes contact with her arm. I don't swing the arm out straight, and I certainly don't bring it too tight back, because what I want is distance between myself and that person. Another option of attack that he may have is a quick left, right, left, right, left, right. Now, when you've got that type of situation, it's always going to be an inside cover, and trying to get your head within that space. So the idea is always close the range and get in nice and tight. Further risks to you are people punching upwards. There's an uppercut for people to be punching up. The best thing, as always, is to look at covering and bringing your elbow in, keeping the hand tucked in and the elbows pointed downwards, not flaring out. Because with your elbows pointed downwards, that means every time someone tries to do an uppercut, they're not only risking punching you, the point of your elbow, but you've also got a better line of coverage. The short hook, boom, tends to be literally from a short position where the guy's moving and obviously aiming for your jaw. That is a little bit more of a skilled response. Go with a tighter defense, boom, when you're throwing, but almost certainly when we respond, and I'll show you from this angle, if he throws a hook on this side, bang, we usually generally cover, same idea, cover with the elbow in, and you hit with the opposite elbow. So you essentially, bang, are creating the counter shape to what he's doing. If he's hitting like this, you want to mirror and hit back with exactly the same sort of concept and idea. What we're trying to do is create a tight system of defense that when people are varying their punches and their lines of attacks, we generally have our elbows in and we're covering our center. So just to recap the points, the first thing is to manage distance as always. So key points, bend your knees, get your hands up. But you must have your hands in your center, because as I said, it gives you much more versatility to cover your center and to expand out to protect yourself if they're going wide. But most importantly, you don't want to get caught out with that punch that comes straight down the line, because most people that are inexperienced, bang, will get quite surprised by something that comes quick, sharp, direct to their face. So if you have your hands up and you're protecting your center and one hand slightly forward and one hand back as a full stop, a defensive posture that will actually give you better coverage, better protection, and more versatility, especially when they're swinging. Because it's far easier if he's swinging, bang, to get inside as opposed to trying to get on the outside of a swinging arm. So bias towards keeping your hands to the center. Thanks for watching.